Okay, we're on to the final week of 2022, or the final few days of 2022. So it's time to see which movies are going to be on my list agenda for next year. Hey everyone, Don G. Corleone here, and I am here with a brand new video, and this is going to be a top 10, and this is going to be a new kind of top 10. This top 10 is going to actually be for, since we are on the last days of 2022, and we're getting close to 2023, I have some things I'd love to announce. In the new year, I'm going to finally be reviewing the Infinity Saga, beginning January. February, we'll be reviewing Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, the first Shazam, aka the DCU movies I have not reviewed yet. First Shazam, Fury of the Gods coming out. The Infinity Saga I am reviewing all of because, well, in April 2023, that's pretty much going to be 2023 is actually the year Endgame takes place. Well, the 5 years later stuff takes place. The Time Heist takes place 5 years after Infinity War, which took place in 2018. 5 years after 2018 is 2023. So, in April 2023, I'm going to be doing an Endgame watch commentary live stream. Hopefully try to anyways. Yeah. Around the final week of April. Gonna hopefully try to do that and review Endgame at the same, and then review Endgame the next day. So yeah. So this Infinity Saga reviews are going to be the countdown to the Endgame event. So yeah. That's just what I want to say for the 2023 updates. 2023 is going to be pretty big for my channel. I kind of have a feeling I might maybe I'll reach 500 subscribers pretty likely by next month. I can probably predict that, and I can kind of getting halfway close to 1,000 subscribers. So once I reach 500 subscribers, I can finally do community posts, and when I reach 1,000 subscribers, I'll be finally able to make money on YouTube. So yeah, but anyway, enough about that stuff. Let's get started on with the top 10 most anticipated movies of 2023 for me. So kicking off at number 10 is going to be Dune Part 2, which will release around, I think, October or November 2023. Now, we all remember when Part 1 came out nearly now 2 years ago. I wasn't too hyped for Part 1, but it proved to be one of the best films I watched in 2021. I do enjoy Denis Villeneuve's films occasionally, but the one that really stood out to me was Blade Runner 2049 the most, and Dune was my second favorite from the director. I'm so glad it got the support it deserved, because now we will finally be having Part 2 this upcoming November. I cannot wait to see where the rest of the story goes, and it's very nice seeing some new other big stars like Florence Pugh and Austin Butler joining the cast, especially after Austin Butler's phenomenal performance in this year's Elvis, and hopefully some characters get more screen time than they did in Part 1. But, knowing that being said, let's just definitely hope this is not another It Chapter 2. Kicking off at number 9 is going to be Saw X. Yeah, I know. Another one of these damn things, but here's the thing. It seems like this is going to be either a prequel or a midquel, all entirely about John Kramer. Either, most likely, from what I've heard, it's supposed to be set between the events of Saw and Saw 2. Instead of being solely about how gruesome and more bloodier and gorier, we can keep making our traps in these sequels. So that will be kind of refreshing for a change. Like, when it comes to this whole series, the first two I like, third one's alright. And controversially, I did really like Spiral. I will say it's probably the first time the Saw franchise actually tried to be creative since Saw 2. Then Saw 3 was alright. It kind of really went downhill after that with Saw 4, Saw 5. We're getting worse. Saw 6 had some moments. Saw 3D was an absolute... Saw 3D is a fucking train wreck. So, after Spiral, Book of Saw, I'm gonna say, I'd like to see where Saw X goes when it comes out on October 27th, 2023. Kicking off at number 8 is gonna be Oppenheimer. Now, I have always loved Christopher Nolan's works, and I'm glad he quit Warner Brothers for good after Tenet. I just saw the trailer for this, and I think it looks promising, since it's about the infamous physicist Oppenheimer and how the creation of the atomic bomb during the Manhattan Project happened. Like, I saw the trailer for this, and much like all of other Nolan's films, this movie looks very unique. I don't think there's a single bad movie he's really done. And the cast is really stacked here. And since it's pretty much by Christopher Nolan, I already can tell this movie's obviously going to be great. I can't really say much else about it. Kicking off at number 7 is going to be Elemental. After such a shitty year Pixar had this year, I sure hope that this will get them properly back on their feet. The concept here is that it's pretty much set in a world where elements live together, and one where both a fire and water element character meet and discover how much they have in common. I did like the teaser for this movie, and maybe, just maybe, this might be another Inside Out, except with elements this time instead of emotions. We'll just have to see what happens when it releases, but please, for the love of God, I just better not end up like Turning Red again. Please, do not end up like do not make any other Pixar film like that piece of shit again. Kicking off at number 6 is gonna be for a film that's coming out next week. And it's a horror film, Megan. Yeah, you're thinking this. Another January horror film. Always the worst stuff to come out first. Yeah, but ironically, this one would kick off 2023, and I have seen the trailers. This looks very damn frightening. I will say that. This film is pretty much about this brilliant roboticist at a toy company uses intelligence to develop a doll called Megan, short for Model 3 Generative Android. It's a lifelike doll programmed to be a child's greatest companion and a parent's greatest ally, then unexpectedly gain custody of her recently orphaned niece, Katie, when the child's parents died in a car accident, and then Jenna lists the help of that Megan prototype, a decision that even has horrific consequences when the doll becomes self-aware and overprotective of Katie, leading her to kill everyone in her way. The design and movements of the doll already freak me out in the trailers, and I hope this ends up being a better Child's Play remake than the 2019 film. We'll have to wait and see. Now kicking off at number 5 is going to be Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Now this is an over-released installment in a milk-to-death franchise that I am looking forward to over Indiana Jones 5. This trailer had just about everything you want in a Transformers film. Peter Cullen's Optimus Prime back, the Transformers having good designs, ape-formers, and nothing too spoilery. Now, you guys obviously know I've never liked the Bay films apart from the first film, and I did really love Bumblebee. But since Travis Knight isn't coming back for this movie, let's just hope this movie does not fail. And kind of like what Bumblebee is someone kind of started to put Transformers on, let's hope this movie can continue what Bumblebee had just started to do. Put Transformers back into the glory days. No more stupid Michael Bay. No more stupid gratuitous shots. No more stupid crude vulgar racism. No more overly dark pretentious plots. Just the Transformers kicking ass, saving the day. More screen time about them. That's what I want to see in this movie. So let's hope this movie can finally revive Transformers and really put it back into the glory days like it used to be. Bumblebee started this. Hopefully this can continue it. Now kicking off at number 4 is going to be the Super Mario Brothers movie. When I heard Illumination was going to be making an adaptation of Mario, I seemed confused for a bit. And then I saw the cast and I was very worried for it. I do love Chris Pratt, but him as Mario seems very miscast for me. And even the trailers are starting to prove it. Like when I saw the first teaser, I had a mixed bit of hope, and then because that first trailer started off good with Jack Black as Bowser, and then we got to hear Chris Pratt as Mario, and I was like, oh, nothing. I mean, just doesn't really feel. Just it feels too miscast for me as Mario. Doesn't really have the Mario voice. But then I saw the second trailer, and now I have some better hope. Jack Black as Bowser and Keegan-Michael Key as Toad really match their characters well, and already have the best performances in this movie so far. And I love how Peach is clearly not going to be a damsel in distress this time around. And I really enjoyed that ending of the last trailer with the Mario Kart and the Rainbow Road references at the end of the last trailer. So maybe, just maybe, this can hopefully be the film that proves Illumination can make that good feature film that's really hiding in their library somewhere. I know I know Illumination has a good movie in their library. They just don't want to release it. They're just too busy with the Minions. They're too busy with their Dr. Seuss garbage. They're busy with their Toy Story knockoff Secret Life of Pets films. But it seems like with their current track record with Sing 2 and Minions Rise of Gru, they're really starting to finally shine. Like Sing 2 was pretty much came close to being that Illumination feature that was hiding in there. And hopefully Mario ends up being the one that finally emerges from the darkness. Kicking off at number 3 is going to be Shazam! Fury of the Gods. So as you all know, all thanks to stupid James Dumb, this will be the last DCU movie I will watch. I really loved the first Shazam. When I saw it, I originally thought it would fail, especially since I got so sick and tired of seeing the trailers of the first film, at every single movie I went to see that year. Every single movie played those darn trailers, and I was really getting annoyed. But thankfully, the movie was nothing like the trailers. So far, this already looks as perfect as the first one, and I especially love how it's expanding on Billy and his siblings' stories by that very first trailer we saw. And I sure hope this movie sends out my DCU journey with a bang, and not with a whimper. And yes, guys, like I mentioned, I will be rewatching and reviewing the first film before this one comes out this March. Kicking off at number 2 is going to be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This was supposed to come out last year, but stupid Sony delayed it to this upcoming year for zero good reason whatsoever. Into the Spider-Verse was phenomenal and easily one of the best animated features in a while. It pretty much saved Sony Animation after the disaster fire that was the Emoji Movie, and has put them in a more mature path ever since then. Even a few animated features have tried copying its style of animation after this movie's success. This film looks even better already. I love all these other Spider-Men we are seeing Miles encounter and fight even. And I can't wait to see Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099 be portrayed in a film for the very first time, even. And I like at least Spider-Gwen and Peter B. Parker, Jake Johnson's Spider-Man are back in this one. So at least not every character from the first one is canned this time around. And I really hope he can kind of develop more of Miles and Gwen's relationship in this movie. And because it seems like from that first look, we might be getting a bit more, and that first look photo of them as well, we might be getting an actually bit more development this time around. I really hope we do actually get to see that. So yeah, and I will be, around May, I will be doing a Spider-Man review series for this movie to come out. So yeah, this film looks very wild, and it definitely better be worth the wait. But now, what is obviously going to be kicking off at number 1 is the movie I have been more hyped in my whole life, more than any other film that has been coming out. 2019 levels of hype. John Wick Chapter 4. Yes, this is by far my number 1 most hyped film throughout this whole decade. And this year. I am a diehard John Wick fan. All the movies rock. It's one of those franchises where there is no bad movies, and I hope Chapter 4 really continues that trend, and we might get a rare good 4th installment. this franchise, to me, is the true continuation of the Matrix franchise, not Matrix Pisserections. I really want to see the Bowery King and John team up in a fight for the first time, and while I know we are kind of getting a fifth, I would still like to see this one end on somewhat of a decent story close, in case the fifth one ends up being a fail. Because if that happens, and this movie actually has an actually pretty nice ending, then I'll pretend this movie is the end, in case. And pretend it's one of those franchises that's only 4 movies. I do kind of wish this franchise just stayed 4 movies. I mean, John Wick is going to have to end eventually. And I do get Keanu Reeves kind of wants to make a lot of these films, but not every franchise, you can't have too many sequels in a franchise. We see like a lot of franchises that keep going on and on, like Star Wars and Fast and Furious and Marvel, and now Indiana Jones. Those sequels keep failing. I want John Wick to actually end with a close, and end with a bow, not getting pulled off kicking and screaming like Caillou like so many other franchises had to. But I'm also begging one other thing. Please, please, do not kill off John to end this franchise when you do. But yeah, John Wick Chapter 4, the #1 most hyped movie of 2023 for me. There we go. That wraps up all of the top 10 most anticipated movies of 2023 in my book. I hope not all of these fail, at least a majority of these end up being good. Really hoping they are. They better be anyways. I mean, maybe Megan might get mixed reactions because it's a January horror film. The January horror films always fail. But I just want to see how my opinion goes for it. Alright? But until then, guys, that's going to be pretty much it for this review. I mean, no, not for this review. For this top 10. Thank y'all for watching. And if you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone.